Hey everyone, I'm Chris, and this is Cue the Credits. Welcome back to this episode of Cue the Credits, the home of everything boutique Blu-rays, physical media, and the art of collecting. In today's video, we are taking a look back at a sci-fi western from 1973 that was just released on the 23rd of February from Arrow Video, and that is Westworld, on a wonderful 4K limited edition. Westworld from 1973 is one of the earliest iterations of cult sci-fi cinema, and it's the movie that laid the groundwork for technology paranoia on screen and quite honestly in the real world as well. The film follows Peter and John, played by Richard Benjamin and James Brolin respectively, as they head into Delos, the hot vacation spot that will cost you $1,000 a day to live out your wildest fantasies within 3 different worlds: the Old West, medieval times, and the Roman Empire. As you can probably guess, Peter and John pick the Old West, and along the way meet the gunslinger, played by Yul Brynner, who is absolutely fantastic in the role as the gunslinger. Westworld was written and directed by Michael Crichton back in 1973. And for some of you who are probably thinking, Michael Crichton, where do I know that name from? He wrote Jurassic Park. Yeah, I mean, if you're wondering about the caliber of this man's creative ability and writing ability, yeah, as I touched on, this is set all within Delos, this futuristic resort. It blends Western tropes with the tension of a sci-fi film. And Yul Brynner's gunslinger is a villain that's stuck in your head from pop culture history for, so long. So long, in fact, that I was talking to my mum about Westworld, having watched it for the first time when I got this release, and immediately she went, "That's the one with Yul Brynner, right?" Just gives me the chills. So that should really tell you everything. So without further ado, let's unbox this then. So right away, we've got Yul Brynner's character of the gunslinger right on the front, with of course some like technology and the rising sun or setting sun in the background. It's a really striking artwork. One thing I would note is this does pop out. It's not as kind of firm in as normal Arrow releases, so just note that if you're picking it up off the shelf, it could drop out. So onto the side here, we've got the Westworld title and then this striking yellow, which I'm absolutely in love with. And onto the back, I will let you have a little read of this. So, boy, have we got a vacation for you. And then all of this artwork is by Eric Roper. This is a 4K, it's a single disc release. We've got Dolby Audio and then all of this features. On the other side, the spine is exactly the same. So let's take off this slipcover. Underneath, we've just got the same artwork. Kind of would have liked something different, but you know, that's fine. Same on the side as well. And then another shot of the gunslinger. This yellow, I love it. Really, really love the yellow. Let's pop everything out and take a look. First up, we've got a 38-page booklet. It's got a rattlesnake on the front and then all of these little pixelated bits behind it. Now, the reason for this is that is how the androids within Westworld, i.e. the gunslinger, sees stuff. And onto the back, well, we've got Westworld there. Onto the back, we've got the gunslinger there. It looks so, so cool. So inside here, we have got 4 different articles. A little bit of Richard Benjamin. 4 different articles or essays, however you want to categorize that. We've got the cast and crew there. And give you a little look on that side of things for this. And then finally, we've got, if I can get there, the about the presentation and James Brolin. Nice little booklet. Possibly would have liked a little bit more literature on it. It's still nice to have. Then of course it's not a limited edition without a poster. We have got this double-sided A3 poster featuring that new artwork and then the original poster artwork here. And it's quite big, so I'll just do a little sweeping shot here. But really nice, really cool. And then onto the disc, I have took the liberty of switching over the artwork. So you do have the option to have the new artwork on there, but I love this classic with the white. And the Boy Have We Got a Vacation for You, and Westworld, where nothing can possibly go wrong. So good. And Westworld on the side, you get the gunslinger with half of his face gone, as there, and then everything on the back is the same, just different colourway. Inside, we get the 4K disc, so it's a single disc release, and then you've got, of course, Westworld, Roman Empire and Medieval World. We've got the Arrow card, so are we getting a preview of something new? It's Salem's Lot. Okay, well this is coming out, I believe, this month or next month, so if you're a Salem's Lot fan, it's coming. And then we get these art cards as well, so let's take a look through these. So on these art cards, we've got a couple of different ones, whether they be like headshots or more parts of the film. We've also got a couple of what looks like in here just production shots, or like kind of behind the scenes ones, which are quite cool. And then we're back to the front. These do feel a little bit more flimsy. Like the cardstock Arrow are using is not as high grade. We got Westworld on the back there. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, they just feel more like printed paper than cards. Let's just say that. But you get 6 of these in there, so it's a nice little touch, and I like seeing like the behind the scenes ones, which are pretty cool. And that is everything included within this 4K limited edition of Westworld from Arrow Video. Let's talk about the actual discs. It just looks great, doesn't it? I mean, like the yellow, and I don't know whether I'm just on a yellow kick because of the Bruce Lee set that I got a couple of weeks ago, but I'm loving the yellow. Shall we talk about the picture and how it holds up 53 years later? Arrow Video have completed a brand new restoration from the original camera negative on this release. And quite honestly, the clarity on this is impressive. From speaking to friends, Westworld has always had a relatively good transfer, but this 4K really does bring it to a next level. You can see the menial little details in the sweeping desert shots, all of the stark interiors, and those 70s design choices to make things look more futuristic really come through with a lot of depth and detail. And there is a really good contrast, especially from like the dusty, dirty Old West environment to how sterile and clean those like labs and more futuristic spaces are. At no point does this feel artificially boosted or anything like this. It just feels very film-like, and it's just an enjoyable watch, especially watching it for the first time. It's exactly what I would expect these restorations to look like and how I would like them to look. Onto the audio side of things, we've got 4 different tracks on this. We have got a new Dolby DTS Master Audio 5.1 track. We have got a lossless 4-channel stereo, which comes through as a 4.0 track. And then we've also got a 2.0 track and then an original 1.0 mono track. So however you want to listen to Westworld in 2026, you can basically do it. I personally opted for the 5.1 track and also switched into the 4-channel at times, which does give it quite an interesting depth and space, but the 5.1 that Arrow have included really just brings in that atmosphere and adds that just needed bass that wasn't available on the other tracks. This film is really driven by atmosphere and tension rather than like big action set pieces, so you need those audio tracks to be absolutely spot on. And I am happy to say that they all are. And by the end of the film, I was on the edge of my seat like, oh my God, is he going to make it? Is he not going to make it? And, you know, no spoilers, but yeah, wow. As for extras on the disc, of course, you saw in the unboxing the amount of extras that are packed into this release. Now, you are seeing this review a couple of days later than release, because I've gone through this with a fine-tooth comb, checking out every single extra bar the audio commentary. And I am safe to say this is the complete package. For someone who hasn't experienced Westworld bar the TV show, it's always something that I wanted to watch, and I'm really glad that I've got this in the collection. The interviews with Richard Benjamin and James Brolin give a real insight on how it was to film, and the James Brolin one especially talks about how they had to do certain things with snakes in the desert to make it look right because they didn't have stuntmen. And then the interview with Paul N. Lazarus III, who was the producer on Westworld, really took you into the insights of the fact that they had to shop this concept around to multiple different studios and no one would take it until it landed with MGM. They had to make it on a shoestring budget of $1.5 million, which I'm just saying doesn't seem that shoestring in 1973, but hey. There's also archival features around the locations. There is also Beyond Westworld. It's a 48-minute pilot of the 1980s follow-up TV series. And then, as always, we've got trailers and image galleries as well. This isn't just a couple of bits of bonus context. This is context and its history and personality that really gives this film an extra bit of life over just watching its 89-minute runtime. Westworld is a pivotal part of sci-fi history. It really did lay the groundwork for future genre pieces around AI, control, and immersive technology. Long before anyone was streaming anything, there was like 1,000,001 AI websites that you could go to. This is the groundwork. And this edition from Arrow brings more than just the film to 4K. It gives you the intellectual and production background on how they managed to get this made in the 70s and lets you appreciate it way more than you would if you just picked up a bog standard release or checked it out on streaming. The real question, is this 4K limited edition from Arrow Video worth picking up for you? If you like a little bit of sci-fi and you've never checked out Westworld, I would say absolutely. If you're a lover of good physical media and film history, absolutely. If you don't like cowboys, probably steer clear of it. But this is one of those releases that definitely feels like a collector's piece, something that you will put on and you'll enjoy and you can go back to the book and just really experience it. Westworld is the complete package. So what do you think? Are you going to be picking up Westworld, or are sci-fi westerns not really your thing? I'd love to know in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching this episode of Cue the Credits. I really appreciate you taking some time to talk film with me. As always, do all of the YouTubey stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends as long as they like sci-fi westerns. If they're not a fan of cowboys, they probably won't like this video. But maybe do it anyway. Maybe I'll turn them and they'll go, oh yeah, you know what? I should watch Westworld. Who knows? I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace!